All right, so I just called the temporary agency here for more work, and I am somebody who gets accused a lot of things. I don't know why. It doesn't take much for me to get in trouble. I can get in trouble a lot, and I don't, I try to stay out of trouble. So last week I had called about temporary work, and they were like, well, you didn't call in last time. You didn't call in and you were a no show, so yeah, we don't have work for you. So the way they do it is if you don't call in, you get a 30-day penalty of no work, like a no show. And I'm thinking to myself, what? And I'm trying, here I am, I'm trying to trust God and trying to communicate um in a way that is respectful as I'm ready to say, you know, what are you talking about? But I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what do you mean? What are you saying? Well, last time in July 30th, whatever, you didn't call in. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm like, which job was that? And they're like, well, we don't know. And I said, oh, wait a minute, I remember. It was the field that you wanted me to take, it was taking, I forget what they call it, like grass out of the field, old grass. And I go, yeah, I remember that now. I actually talked to you. I told you that I wasn't going to take it. Something else had come up. I had another temporary job that came up that was better. So I didn't tell them that, but yeah. So I told them I wouldn't take that. And so she was thinking about it and she goes, I don't remember that, and then she's like, wait a minute. And she checked her notes and she's like, oh my goodness, I have that on my notes and I now do remember that. So she's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no problem. And she's like, sometimes other people don't pick up the notes, da da da. And she was very apologetic. And I said, no problem. And I said, but let me tell you how I knew that that was not true. And I told her it's because I know myself. If you can know yourself, you're going to know, yourself good enough when Satan throws those darts at you. And I said, I'm somebody who doesn't just not show up. That's not, I don't think I've ever done that in my life, just not show up. I've had a lot of jobs and I don't just not show up. I will do a call if I can't make it or some kind of communication, but not just not show up. So I knew right from the get-go she wasn't correct. Somebody had made a mistake. And I guess that is the best thing you can do when you feel accused. And a lot of times I have to put like this circle, around myself as I walk in life, because I can have so many accusations come my way that are not true. And I actually can start almost feeling sometimes like, wait a minute, did I do that? And I can doubt myself and I can be like, I can even take like false guilt. I can actually sometimes feel like I'm guilty when I'm not. So, but I do know myself and I know that as you work through stuff, and you know yourself, you're usually going to come out on the better side. So yeah, so just, we are in a spiritual warfare. The enemy likes to accuse us of many things. And the other thing is, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, in class we were talking about how we feel sometimes when we have a big burden on our back, and that is feeling accused to me. And I still remember I was working through this week when I was accused of, just stuff surrounding the abortion, just accused of, oh my goodness, don't tell me you're pregnant. And that accusation, like, what did you do wrong? How did you get, how could you be pregnant? And nobody even asked me the whole time, up to this day, how I even got pregnant. Um, you can feel accused, and that sense of helplessness is still with me sometimes. That trauma of shock and then being brought right to an abortion, to the doctors for an abortion, that shock, that helplessness, that deer in the headlights is still with me to this day. And, and then to hear, well, later on from someone else. Well, you're the one who got pregnant, and the condom broke, yes, and I am the one who got pregnant. But those accusations, I remember that too growing up. I remember one episode where somebody didn't put the cover on the dump barrel, and it was either me or someone else who did not do it. And I knew that it wasn't me. I had no idea about this situation. And it was, you either admit that you're lying or you're going to have consequences. And of course, the truth was I didn't do it. I didn't know that the cover on the dump was not even an issue. I didn't do it. And then I got soap in my mouth anyways. So I was told I was lying, even though I wasn't, but I was told I was. So yeah, a lot of things like that still from my younger days can affect me, where I can feel guilty even if I'm not. So just watch out. As a Christian, we have an enemy who likes to bring us down. And one thing I learned this week that's really helpful is to say, who told you that? Like, I heard someone else say this too. Did Jesus tell you that? Or where did you hear that? Where did you hear that? I mean, where does that come from? And we are constantly like battling lies. Like, what's the truth and what's a lie? What's the truth and what's a lie? So as a woman, I'm not really based on my feelings, but a lot of women are. I tend to be more logical and not really let my feelings get a hold of me. And I tend to make sure I recenter myself every day and just walk close to God. So that's what we want to do in the Christian life. We want to make sure that we are, having a strong walk with God every day and a strong mindset, and always, discerning thoughts. What's true, what's not. Because if we don't, somebody else will discern them for us.